What's up, guys? My name is Mad Squash 924. Welcome back to another episode of Alan Wake Remastered Part 8, where we're at the train depot trying to find a vehicle, like this one. I assume we can use this one. Right? Yep. Just like that. That was easy.
I had never been this glad to see the sunrise. I had a couple of hours to get to the coal mine. The coal mine wasn't far now. Today, I would meet the kidnapper, and he would give me Alice. I wouldn't give him any other choice. A drowning man will clutch at a straw.
I guess we go then. Theoretically, I could drive that truck. But then again, why would we drive the truck if we already parked it? We have no weapons either. For now, we'll just run there. I probably should have been driving. But I think it's fine. Don't you? It's had a rough road up ahead, too. I think they were expecting us to drive. However, we did not indulge in that. Could drive this one, too. It's like they expect me to take a vehicle. Well, looks like we go this way. I do think taking a vehicle was probably the intention, however. Whatever, it's fine. We're just doing a leisurely stroll. So leisure-like. Anything at the end of this little bridge? That's a nope. Another car we could steal.
This is Pat Main, and you're listening to KBF-FM. Folks, I want to apologize for kind of abandoning you to that looping music track last night, but I was detained. You see, I encountered a big-shot G-man with an itchy trigger finger who could use a lesson in manners and a boot in the ass, not necessarily in that order either. Now, folks, I know I'm not being very informative here, and I apologize for that. I really should just keep quiet, but I'm just so peeved right now, because some people just shouldn't be carrying badges. I'm just glad that our Sheriff Breaker was there to straighten things out. And if someone I met last night is listening, let me just say, I'm sorry if my mouth got you in trouble. I'm pretty sure you're not the bad guy here. Godspeed, son. I hope you know what you're doing. Now, on a lighter note, I'll be talking to Dr. Nelson all morning. But first, a little music.
Okay. Yeah, we are meant to be taking a vehicle. You know what? I think we'll pick up a car this time. It'll make this drive a little bit quicker. even though it's not ours. This thing kind of controls bad. Yeah, it's a good thing we took the car up. That would have been a lot longer otherwise.
Welcome back to KBF FM. Hope you enjoyed that tune. Now, Doc, you were talking about life and finding that special someone, that soulmate.
Well, you were talking about that. I was saying I don't buy it.
Well, see, to me, that's strange, because I always pegged you as a hopeless romantic.
You got me there, Pat. But I think love's where you look for it. And you need to do a lot of looking, sure. But the idea that there's that one special person out there for you, and if you miss that chance, it's gone forever, and you're forever incomplete. I mean, isn't that depressing? Or, heck, childish even? There's plenty of fish in the sea.
And apparently a fisherman has a fishing analogy for everything, but what you're saying, isn't that a little harsh?
Well, no. What I am saying is that your potential for finding that connection isn't limited to what's essentially a chance encounter. How is that harsh?
Yeah, well, I guess that's a nice thought, but let me say something personal here.
Okay.
Now, well, I don't disagree with you exactly, but I can't really fit that together with what I feel, what I felt for someone, because she was the one. She was. And I let her drift away from me. Maybe I didn't put in the work, I don't know, but, well, since then, and it was a long time ago, but since then, there hasn't been anyone, not like her. And I'm not saying I dwell on her or haven't moved on. I like my life. I'm not living in the past, but I do miss the way she completed me.
You can't argue with the heart, Pat.
I'm sorry, folks. I had kind of a scary experience last night, and let's just say it's shaken a few things loose.
That's interesting. Well, looks like that's the path we are meant to be taking. So coming up here was completely optional. So it would seem. Let's take this car. A lot of driving today. Don't know why. I'm expecting, like, hidden secrets like a thermos or something. Or maybe more notes for Alan Wake's memoir, like this one.
For Mott, spying on the writer on the ferry had been a disappointment. His boss had made Wake out to be something special, but Mott hadn't been impressed. He'd gotten a good long look at the wife, though, and he liked what he saw. Mott had fantasized about goading Wake into a fight, but it hadn't happened. Still, he'd get his chance to see if the writer had anything in him. He'd been promised as much.
Well, we did find something. And it was kind of what we were expecting. A note. Uh-oh. I didn't think that thing had physics. I thought it would be invincible.
I was early. I was supposed to meet the kidnapper at noon in the main building. The coal mine was quiet. It was a museum now.
Coffee thermos hidden in the corner. Is there a way indoors?
With Nightingale gone and the night wind blowing in through the broken studio window, Maine stared at Sarah. The sheriff looked away. Maine's voice shook with barely controlled anger. That boy's doing more drinking than thinking. I hope you know what you're doing, Sarah. He's got a sickness in his eyes. You take my word for it. He wants Wake for a reason, and it's not for anything good.
Oh, we have to go into the coal mine itself, I thought.
I didn't want to go outside. Cops had to be looking for me. The noon sun turned the place into a sauna. The day dragged on. Different scenarios ran through my mind. Ways of how I'd torture the kidnapper to get Alice back. Or the different horrible things he could have done to her. I imagined her dead. I had no way of knowing she was still alive. It was killing me. I was running on blind hope. It was all a waste of time. The bastard never showed up.
Wake,
Where the hell are you?
change of plans. You know where Mirror Peak is? It's a big mountain north of where you are. You follow the path from the mine, you can't miss it. There's a lookout point there. I'll be waiting.
I'm through being jerked
You
around by
want
you.
to see your wife alive? Because if you do, you better watch what you say to me. Do we understand each other?
I want to talk to Alice.
Yeah, and I want the manuscript. Don't keep me waiting, Wake.
Hello? Hello? Ah! I'm gonna kill him.
I had to get to
Why is
Mirror
this door
Peak.
locked? Isn't this like the only way in and out?
It was close. Maybe closer than ever before.
That's great and all. But, oh wow, I have all my things still? Why is that locked? Do I jump this? Yep. Let's hit this switch up. It opens that. Okay. Boop. Another note lies before me.
When Thomas Zane fell for Barbara Jagger, it happened fast. She was young, vibrant, and beautiful, full of life. He had never been a very happy man, and without any seeming effort, she had changed all that. Zane felt good for the first time in his life. Everything she did was another piece of a jigsaw puzzle he hadn't even known he'd been missing. And best of all, she made the words flow, strong and sharp. She was his muse.
Nothing but revolver ammo. Move. Jeez. Oh, frick. Where am I going? Feels like a trap. Case in point. Jeez, didn't realize there was two objects in there trying to kill me. Thought there was just the one.
What the hell?
What is that supposed to be? It's just like this black mass.
The only way to reach the hillside ahead was to go through the building. I had to find a way to avoid electrocution.
Yeah, that's great and all. Okay. That kills all of them. And saves me some ammo in the process. Doing that turns off the power over there? Yes. And here. Which makes sense in turn. Jeez, this is ridiculous. Well, I'm going up here. They can screw around with each other. I'm not having any part of it. Shit. I wanted to use a shotgun, not the freaking flare gun. That was an accident on my part. What can you do? That'll work. That'll work. Up we go. Don't see anything at the moment, so...
Some of the Taken retained echoes of their former selves, but these were just the nerve twitches of a dead thing. Nothing remained but a shell covered and filled with darkness. In most cases, these puppets were enough for the purposes of the Dark Presence. But for anything more elaborate, as with the writer, it was different. It needed his mind. And so rather than taking him over completely, it merely touched him.
Follow. Like we have a choice. She's him. Open? He wouldn't do it at first. Come on, jump up. Or don't. Should have worked either way, really, but... whatever.
There was no way the flashbang grenades were standard power company equipment.
What do you mean? It all seems pretty standard to me. Black masses everywhere. Okay. Those guys were dealt with. Now we have a couple more. And another bigger dude. Not idealistic, but that's what we have to work with. Jeez. Another big guy? Alright, enough is enough. Let's go.
I stared through the bars of the jail cell. Barry stood behind me, swaying on his feet, looking as ill as I felt. Agent Nightingale stood on the other side of the bars with Sheriff Breaker. Nightingale had a stack of manuscript pages in his hand. He seemed unhinged as he gloated. Well, I've got you now, Raymond Chandler. It's all here. All the evidence, including conspiracy to murder a federal agent.
There's a thermos up there? Guess we'll go that way then. bit of precarious. As such. I do think this is actually probably a good spot, though, for us to end today's episode of Alan Wake Remastered. Hope you guys all enjoyed. If you guys have, make sure you guys leave a like, leave a comment. Tell me what you think of today's episode, of course, and if you're new to my channel or have been watching me for a little while and you haven't done so, feel free to subscribe to me, MadSquash924, and do not forget to ring the bell to get notified of my latest videos. On the next episode, we're going to reach Mirror Peak Lookout to go find our wife Napper, and I'll see you then. Goodbye.